Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you guys for joining. Good morning, good morning. I'm a little under the weather. Good morning. My name is Tatiana. I like to encourage and motivate people. My name is Tatiana. I love to encourage and motivate people. I motivate people through children's stories or whatever. Love your name, and yes, I do. I am sick. Yes, I'm going through some sinus stuff myself. But my question to you all is, do you have a silent cry for help? Do you have a silent cry for help? And um yep, you got a silent cry for help. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So I want to talk about first I want to ask you guys the question is, do you have a silent cry for help? And if you have a silent cry for help, I want to know, have you talked to anybody about it indirectly? Have you talked to anybody about it indirectly? Have you guys, talked to anyone about your silent cry for help indirectly? Hello, thank you for joining. Hello, how are you today? How are you today? I haven't. No one understands. Tried in the past. Tried in the past. Okay. I'm good. You're good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, thank you guys for joining. I'm going to wait until some more people get in the room before I start to go into do you have a silent cry for help? So that's the question today. Do you have a silent cry for help? Have you all talked to anybody about your silent cry for help? Hey, Tati. Hi. How are you? Let me see who this is. Hello, Quincy. How are you today? Yes, yes, yes. So, um, I was actually gonna get on Rashana's scope better now. Yeah, I was gonna get on Rashana's scope, but apparently something happened, so I just decided to go ahead and start the broadcast that I was going to start. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So my question to you all is, do you have a silent cry for help? Um, the question is kind of thought provoking, and I've been reading Oprah book on what I know for sure. I've been reading this book. This book has been ministering to me, and it is a powerful book. It's very simple, but it's a very powerful book. I I read some of it. I'm not done with it. It's Oprah's birthday. Stop the press, girl. Stop it. Yes, it's very good. I'm not done with it yet, but while I was reading it, I thought about how we as people, we have silent cries for help, and sometimes we allow people in that space. Yes, my quote of the day is, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I am going to have to send a shout out to Oprah. So happy birthday, Oprah. Woo! Everybody, say happy birthday to Oprah, even though I don't know if she could see us. But happy birthday, Oprah. I love Oprah. I love Oprah. So, okay, let's get back into the message. I might cut this light off behind me because it's a glare. Yes, swipe and share with your followers. Swipe and share with your followers. And I'm sorry that it's so dark, but I just didn't want the glare to affect your eyes as you begin to talk to me. So many of you, like I just said, know that I am working on myself, and I am on my journey to healing and being delivered from some things in my life. And I found out that by reading books and listening to different scopers, I am encouraged to continue to move forward. I am encouraged to move in spite of my silent cries for help. So, many of you, may not want to expose what your silent cry. I'm sure Oprah's watching. So many of you don't want to expose your silent cries for help, right? So, I'm going to share like something that I'm going to share Oprah's silent cry for help, and then I'm going to share my silent cry for help. How about that? How about that? So as I began to read the book, right? As I began to read the book, I'm going through the pages, and I'm listening to her story, and you know, Oprah, believe it or not, she had a silent cry for help when it comes to her relationships. And Gail, which is her friend, Gail King, was trying to convey to her that, hey, listen, you deserve so much better. You deserve so much better. Okay, I will. You deserve so much better. And, you know, Gail was like, hey, listen, you know, let me just talk about this. And there was one, I had to highlight this. There was one profound quote in this book, and it was powerful. So she talked about how Gail never judges her and allow her, you know, basically to be herself. And she would have all her woe is me moments, and she would go through whatever she's going through, and she would discuss this with Gail because Gail didn't judge her, and she felt safe talking to her friend Gail. But it didn't start out that way. You know, their friendship didn't start out, you know, their friendship started out that she was encouraging her as a black woman and doing what she was doing in her career, so she was excited about that. But their friendship started out kind of slowly, according to the book. And, you know, their friendship started out, Gail, there was a storm after one of their news anchor shows, and Gail wanted to drive home, and she's like, no, come to my house. And Gail's like, I don't have any panties. I need some clean underwear. She's like, we could go to the store and get some, you know, just come over, and I don't want you to drive so far. So that was, you know, their little beginning of their relationship. So she went to the house or whatever. And as she went to the house, you know, they developed this relationship. They supported each other. They respect each other. And I'm just trying to give you a little background information. And it was a beautiful thing. So when I was reading the book, good morning, she was talking to Oprah, and Oprah apparently was going through different relationships, different failed relationships where, you know, men either didn't respect her or devalue her or wasn't treating her the appropriate way. And she said she was talking to Gail about this, and Gail really never judged her, but Gail did say one thing, and she often said this one thing: he just chip away at your spirit. Listen to this. He's just chipping away at your spirit. One day I hope he chips deep enough for you to see who you really are. One day, let me repeat that. One day, I hope he chips deep enough for you to see who you really are. Someone who deserves to be happy. Woo! That thing ministered to me. I was like, God dang! I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh my God, that was deep. It was deep. Now, as I begin to read this, and as I'm reading this, right? As I'm reading this, I was thinking about Oprah and how we and I often have a silent cry for help. And we don't realize that we have a silent cry for help because we can't find people that we could trust to allow us to be ourselves and allow us to be real and just encourage us along the way. Right? And Oprah had a silent cry for help, right? Oprah had a silent cry for help. Like I have a silent cry for help. You know, you get in relationships with people and they hurt you, right? And you find yourself being so destroyed because you don't know your value, right? So Gail was trying to express to Oprah, hey, you are valuable. I recognize your value. I recognize that you're good. But do you see your value? Oprah, do you see your value? Hello, Oprah, do you see your value? Tatiana, do you see your value? Hello? Hello? No, this is real. This is real, y'all. And we often have this silent cry for help because we don't see and know our value. And I'm a living witness and I'm guilty of this. That's why I'm expressing it to you, because while I'm ministering to you, I'm ministering to Tatiana. Understand that, okay? Understand that. So we have this silent cry for help. We don't want to share with others that, hey, I'm going through something right now. My heart is broken. Not only is my heart is broken, I can't find my purpose because I'm going through something right now. And we hide. We hide. We don't express to somebody. And I'm not saying express to everybody, because everybody is not worthy of that sacred place of who you are. But somebody that you could really trust. Not only somebody that you could really trust, but God. Woo! Did y'all hear what I just said? God, Spirit, and even trusting yourself with your silent cry for help. Acknowledging, hey, this is something that is a silent cry for help on the inside. And I need to get in the secret place of the great I am. I need to get in the secret place of the great I am. And I need to acknowledge that I have a silent cry for help. Because sometimes, even in myself sometimes, we have this silent cry for help, but we don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want to acknowledge that this is a sore spot and it hurts like hell. But I don't have anybody to talk to about it. I don't even talk to God about it. Not only do I not talk to God about it, but I don't even have a friend like Gail to talk to about it. Okay, you're good. But I don't even have a friend like Gail to even talk to about it. Who do I talk to about this silent cry for help? Who do I talk to? How can I heal from this silent cry? How can I be delivered from this silent cry? This is what I believe. This is what I believe. You have to talk to God about it, right? Talk to God about it. Talk to God about your silent cries for help. But wait a minute. 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 Some silent cries for help needs to be exposed to somebody you trust. Hear me, hear me, hear me. You listen to the one who listens. Yes. Imagine if Oprah, hold up, wait 1 minute. A very good friend. Imagine if Oprah had not talked to Gail about her silent cries for help, what would have happened? She would have kept internalizing it, right? She probably talked to God about it. She probably did. I'm just saying. I talked to God about some of my silent cries for help. But then sometimes it's good to talk to somebody that you respect and you trust about your silent cries for help so that you can expose them, right? so that you can expose them and you can really heal from your silent cries for help. Like, I just talked to a woman yesterday. Hey, listen, I got a silent cry for help. It's hard to have good friends these days. Absolutely. But you got to trust your spirit to guide you and take you to the right people. You got to trust your spirit to guide you and take you to the right people, right? I believe that we're brought on this planet to have interdependent relationships. I believe we need each other. I believe we need each other. Yes, you got to pray for a good friend. And sometimes your good friend may irk you in the beginning of your relationship because it was a God-sent relationship and you're not used to the way this friend expressed themselves to you, or the way the relationship, because you're so used to something different. Like, I got a girlfriend right now. When we first met, I didn't like her. Like, she was cool the first 2 days. But after the first 2 days, I'm like, I don't like you. And she's like, yeah, you a piece of work. And I'm like, you a piece of work. And I'm like, you know, and we had our moments, and we would argue and we would fight and we would, like, she was like, look, this relationship got to be God sent. She was like, I don't know if we gonna last until next week, let alone next year, right? It'll be 3 years in April, right? It'll be 3 years in April. And what we discovered about one another is that we balance each other. We balance each other. Not only do we balance each other, but like, she is one of those people, she's always on time. She's just like, you know, she's always very rigid, very rigid. And I'm not so rigid, right? I'm like, oh, let's go crazy, let's go wild, you know, let's do this, let's do that. And I allow her to be more free, and she's allowed me to be more cautious of time. And I'm like, okay, so that's one thing that we learned from each other, that we've learned, we're learning from each other. And then what was so powerful about this, right, is when I did not know my value, right, every day she came over and she's like, you don't have to look like what you're going through. You don't have to be in this place. You are beautiful. You are more than this. You are more than allowing someone to disrespect you and talk to you like this. You are so valuable. And she kept reminding me of my value, right? And when she kept reminding me of my value as a strong woman that believed in herself and her relationship with God, in my profile picture, and I share this story often, in my profile picture that day, I was feeling mighty, mighty bad, y'all. And I mean it. I was feeling mighty, mighty bad. But it was that friend that said, whoa. She said, whoa. Oh, no, 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 no. You do not have to look like what you're going through. Yeah, you may be going through what you're going through. You may have been heartbroken. But you don't have to look like it. You don't have to go there. So she told me after she got off work. I'm trying to remember, was she working at the time? I don't think she was working at the time. No, yes, she was. She was working. And she called me and she said, we're going to have a play date, a makeup date. I'm like, what? She like, so just come over and just get ready. Just be ready. Just be ready. She's like, let's try to fix, she said, go try to fix your hair up or something. And I'm going to make your face up and we gonna work with it, right? So she made my face up. I wet my hair all curly. And as she was putting my makeup on, she kept pinching my cheeks. And she said, Tatiana, you are so beautiful, girl. Oh my God, you don't have to look like what you're going through. You're so beautiful. And she kept like pinching my cheeks, and she's like, oh, you so beautiful. I'm about to cry thinking about it. She's like, you don't have to look like what you're going through. She said, girl, do you know your value? Do you know your worth? You are so beautiful. And she's painting my face. She's like, oh, look at that face. Look at that face. And she was encouraging me, and she was telling me and ministering to me. And it wasn't deep. Hear me when I say this. It wasn't deep. She was doing it in love, but she was ministering to me through a gift that she had, which is the gift of putting my makeup on, the gift of being able to tell me that I'm special, the gift to be able to, make me feel better, because what I was going through was heavy. I was going through a depression. I was unhappy with my life and with myself, and I was going through an abusive relationship, and it hurt me, and it was hurting, and I was going through so much, and I had this silent cry for help, but I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't tell anyone. And my friend, she recognized something is not right. So I said, well, this is what's going on. And I gave her doses at a time. And she was like, whoa, that's pretty heavy. And then she began to get emotionally caught up. And then she took a step back. She said, no, I can't get emotionally caught up. She's like, no, I have to help rescue you. I have to help rescue you. I realize that you have this silent cry for help, and I got to come help rescue you. Because I love you, because you're my sister, and I believe in you. Do you know you're special? I was like, dang, like she was really ministering to me, right? So she would take me to empowerment conferences, and I would be able to be exposed to Ayala Van Zant. I would be able to be exposed to Wendy Williams, but Wendy Williams was just laughter. But I was able to be exposed to the song that it's your time. It's your season. It's your time to shine, Tatiana. You don't have to look like what you're going through. You don't have to look like what you've been through. I had a silent cry for help, and it was a friend that helped God rescue me. It was a friend, because I needed to hear that from someone else. And he used my friend. He used my friend to put the makeup on me. He used my friend to pinch my cheeks and say, all is well. You just got to walk. You just got to walk in your purpose. You got to stop feeling like you're defeated, because you are strong. You are powerful. You just got to have a little bit of faith, Tatiana. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. So my question was basically, how many of you guys who have a silent cry for help and you have not exposed what that silent cry for help is? I still got a few silent cries for help. I'm trying to expose them in an indirect way sometime, but I haven't found anybody that I could trust with some of these things. And that's just the truth. But I'm trusting in God, and I'm like, God, give me a sign. Help me. Allow me to be a match. Allow me to be a match to these things. God, if there's something that you have for me to do and in my purpose and in my calling, God, allow me to be able to have the right frame of mind to be able to expose the silent cry for help so that these people can help me. Do you hear what I'm trying to say? And I'm exposing myself because I believe when you tell your truth, you give permission to other people to tell their truth. You begin to give permission to other people to tell their truth. And telling your truth is not always easy. Telling your truth is painful sometimes. God bless you, girl. Take care. Absolutely. And we have to do this. So, like I said, Oprah, Tatiana, some of you may have a silent cry for help. Trust Spirit to guide you and bring you to the right people that can help you. And not only the right people, but maybe even take you to that right place spiritually where that silent cry for help can be exposed, and you can heal, and you can walk in your purpose, and you can walk in your calling, and you can do what God has set out for you to do. You can do what God has set out for you to do. But you got to make sure that you expose the silent cry for help. You got to expose that silent cry for help. Oprah, Tatiana, expose the silent cry for help. I expose, hey, I'm hurting, I'm broken. Oprah, she did the same. Hey, I'm failing at these relationships. And Gail said to her, hey, when are you going to know your value? When are you going to know your worth? And I'll read the quote again. She said, he's just chipping away at your spirit. One day, I hope he chips deep enough. Hear this. One day, I hope he chips deep enough so you can see who you really are. So you can see who you really are. Someone who deserves to be happy. Hey, how you? I'm doing okay. I got a little sinus congestion going on, but I'm doing good. So imagine if Oprah had not exposed to her friend her silent cry for help, and her friend wasn't spirit-filled enough, and God wasn't in the midst of that relationship where she told her, do you know who you are? Do you know your worth? And she had to remind her. You are worth something, Oprah. I hope he chips away at your spirit deep enough so that you can see your worth. So that you can know that you are valuable. And she exposed her silent cry for help. And she was delivered from her silent cry for help. She was delivered from her silent cry for help. Now, what is she doing? She's helping other people. She's sharing spiritual things with other people. She's giving information. She's exposing her relationships. Do y'all hear what I'm trying to say? And that is what she knows for sure. That is what she knows for sure. This is what Tatiana knows for sure. I have exposed the fact that I have been hurt. I have exposed the fact that I am growing. I have exposed some of my financial struggles. I have exposed the silent cry for help. Not all of them. Let me be clear. I have not exposed all of them. But I have exposed them all to God. But some of the silent cries for help that I know people can help me with, I've exposed them. And they're helping me. I exposed to a woman the other day. I said, hey, listen, I get on Periscope and I encourage people through my life stories. I said, I just want to make sure that I'm being, clear. Because I'm not sure if I'm being clear. I'm not sure if what I'm saying is helping. I'm not sure if there's a benefit to this. Like, can you help me? But imagine if I hadn't exposed that. Imagine if I hadn't exposed that silent cry for help, because it was a silent cry. It was like, oh, I need some help. I need some direction. I read to you all the story about the Incredible You, right? So I read you guys the story about Incredible You. So I got a phone call, and the phone call was, hey, why are you reading children's stories to grown folks? And immediately I got defensive, right? Immediately I got defensive. Like, what do you mean? It's because it's helping. I got several emails from other people on, the Incredible You. And he's like, and you're reading in this, like children like voice to adults. What could a children's book do to help an adult? And immediately I said, well, if you don't understand it, I'm not going to explain it. I'm out. Like, basically, I didn't even want to have the discussion anymore, right? They are, yeah, they are sometimes the best books. Absolutely. So let me give y'all the hook. This is the hook. So he said, well, I'm just asking because I think it's kind of ironic, and I got off of the scope because I just thought it was crazy and it was childish, and I thought you were having a mental health crisis, right? Like, listen, and I had to take a step back, right? And I had to think about perception, right? Perception, because I can't think that everybody is where I am. I can't think that everybody understands what I'm trying to deliver, right? I can't think. So I had to take a step back. And immediately I got defensive, but I had to take a step back and I had to listen. So he said, what are you trying to convey? What are you trying to deliver? What are you trying to say? So I had to say, what I'm trying to say is that in these children books, there are so many great messages and they're so powerful. And when you express it, I said, because when I was reading to my kids, it was ministering to me, and there's so much power in these books, and they have these messages, and I don't even think the kids really understand them, because I really think they were meant and designed for adults, right? So I began to explain my purpose and why, and I began to open up. Yes, the message is for us. Absolutely. So I began to open up and why I'm reading it, and how one time when I was going through a deep, deep, dark place in my life, how it was a children's book that got me over. It was a children's book that ministered to me. This big, thick, grown folks book, it didn't read, and it wasn't talking to me. But that kid's book reached that spot in me where I needed to be restored, and I needed to know that the little engine that he could get over on the other side. I needed to hear that little engine and how to train. He tried and he tried and he tried and he couldn't get over the other side of the hill and the mountain. But when he got over to the other side, there was beauty on the other side. But imagine if he would have gave up. Imagine if the little engine that would have gave up, how he wouldn't have made it over to the other side to see the beauty of the other side. So it was that children's book that ministered to me, and I had to explain it's the children's book that ministered to your spirit and to your soul and to your heart. And when my godmother read it to me at my old adult age, I began to sit on her bed and I began to cry, and I began to tell her, I thank you, because this book was more powerful than any word you could say right now. The book was more powerful than anything she could say, and it gave me permission to find myself in the storyline, to say that I think I can, and I can get over to the other side. I just got to keep pushing because I think I can. And when I kept telling myself, I think I can, I made it to the other side because I didn't give up on Tatiana. And it was that children's book that helped bring me through and deliver me from what I was going through when I was in that dark place. And then he understood. And then, yes, I think I can. And then he understood. But I had to express to him why I did what I did, why I was reading this children's book, and then he understood. So it took for me to be open enough, because immediately I got defensive. It took for me to be open enough to express how this was helping adults, how it was helping people. And I couldn't, and I can't think that people can understand me without me being clear in my intention. And imagine if I would have walked away from that conversation and not getting the message that I needed, because I needed him to tell me that. Because when I get on scope, I want to be able to be clear in my intention for the message that I'm trying to convey to you all. I need to be able to be clear in how I'm going to share my message so that you can receive the fullness of what I have to offer. Do you hear what I'm trying to say? And that's why I'm glad that I exposed some of my silent cries for help. Yes, I need help with being able to deliver effectively to the people. I have a lot inside of me. But I need to be clear in my delivery. I need to make sure that I give you guys a clear message, so it won't be perceived in a negative way, or it won't be perceived in a way that I wasn't intending for it to be perceived as. So I'm working on that. But imagine if I hadn't exposed that silent cry for help. I need help. I'm not sure if I'm clear. I need help. I'm not sure if this is effective or not. I need help. Hey, I'm naked. Hello, I'm naked. I need help. And I had to expose it. I had to expose the silent cry for help. This lady was on another social media platform. I mean, not another social. Yes, Scope Naked. So this lady was on another Scope, and I said, oh, I wish I could be more clear, or, I don't know exactly what I said, but I was exposing my silent cry for help. Hey, hello, can you hear me? I'm trying to share information, but I'm not sure if I'm sharing it effectively. Hello. She said, email me, and I will help you. I talked to her on the phone for like almost 2 hours, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I know has been working for my audience, but I know that I go over here sometime. And this is what, I just want to make sure that I'm giving the right information. I want to make sure that I'm sharing my life stories effectively. I want to make sure, and she talked to me for a whole hour and a half. She said, yeah, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. Yes, you have to serve the people, but you got to be intentional. And then you got to ask your people, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want to hear from you? What do you all want from me? What do you want to hear from me? What do you all want to hear from me? That's my question. What do you all want to hear from me? How can I serve you? How can I serve you? Would you like for me to be your encourager? Would you like for me to continue to share and express and share with you the wisdom that I've gathered from my grandmother and other people? What do you want? What do you want from me? First time watching, not sure yet, but I'm feeling your message. See, I received that. High five, high five. I received that. I received that. And you can go back on catch.me/CreativeTAT, and you could get a feel for who I am and what I'm all about. Really, high five. Because I love to share things that I've learned and things that I'm learning, because I'm still learning. And I think you should never give up learning, because when you learn, you grow. And I always want somebody to help me grow. I do. I do. And I think that's what life is all about. Learning and growing and moving forward. The message about the silent cry for help, I'm hoping to be able to share more effectively too. Yes, the message for the silent cry for help, that message was like to me as well. Sometimes we have to expose our silent cries for help so that we can get the help we need. For example, I have a young lady that I know. She exposed the fact that she does poetry. I jumped on because Silent Cry hit me. Right. She does poetry, right? A young lady that I know, she does poetry. She exposed it to somebody, and they was like, whoa, why aren't you blogging? Why aren't you delivering this message? Man, you do poetry? Really? Nobody knew. Because you haven't exposed your silent cry for help. Because your deliverance sometimes is in your silent cry for help. Your deliverance, your purpose is sometimes in that silent cry for help. Women in domestic violence, when they have a silent cry for help to get away from their abusers, if they don't expose it to the hotline and to people that can help them, they'll always be entrapped in that situation or in that relationship. And they'll always feel defeated because they haven't exposed the issue. You know, they haven't exposed it. The police can't help them. I wrote a poem yesterday. I don't write poems. I've not shared it. You wrote a poem yesterday? That is awesome. You haven't shared it yet? Wow. Well, maybe you should. Maybe somebody needs to hear that. Maybe they have a silent cry for help, and you are going to give them permission to be free. Yes, Sade. Sade does poetry as well. Yes, she does. And she's working on her blog right now. She's working on her blog. But I just really want to get on here to ask you guys, what is your silent cry for help? If you do have a silent cry for help, expose it to God. Expose it to Spirit. Wow, you just started blogging this year. That is awesome. Expose it to God. Not only expose it to God, but expose it to somebody that can help you. And make sure they're a vibrational match to you. Make sure that they're God sent to you. And ask God to give you the person that you could expose your silent cry for help with. To give you the person that you can expose that silent cry for help to, and they can help you. Or you guys could help each other. Because I personally believe in interdependent relationships. When you have a relationship that is focused on we and us, it's more powerful than just I. Because I don't believe there is something, like I don't believe God said I, we. Why would he give us a woman and a man? Why would he give us other people? Why would he do that? I have a personal editor. WordPress. Awesome. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And again, thank you so much for joining my scope. You know, if you do have a silent cry for help, expose it. Expose it. Expose it. If you don't feel comfortable with just exposing it just to expose it so that you could receive help, expose it to someone you trust, or expose it to someone that God sends in your life for you to expose it to. And when you expose it to someone that you know is God sent, God will do the rest of the work through you and that person. I believe that, and I'm a living witness of it. God will do the rest of the work. And some things is not meant for us to understand. We just got to expose some of those silent cries for help. I appreciate that. Only have one follower. Girl, you gonna get more and more and more followers. You got to just start claiming it. Claim it. Claim it. Claim it. Claim it. Claim it. I have abundance. I am abundant. I am sharing my message and my story. People are going to come to me for help, and they're going to help me, and I'm going to help them. My followers are about to increase. I'm stepping up my game. Hello, Beatrice. Is it Beatrice? Beatrice? Hi, thank you for joining. But again, like I said, I just wanted to share that message with you all, and I hope I was clear in my intent of the message. But again, I wish you guys all the best. I am new on here and not active as a writer. I know, I just don't know of my direction, but I will figure it out soon. Okay, so can I give you some advice that somebody gave to me? You're welcome, you're welcome. So this is what the lady gave to me. And because it was free to me, I'm going to give it to you. So this is what was given to me. She said, you have to be intentional, and you got to be, yeah, the free 99. Yes. She said you have to be intentional. You have to make sure that if you're like a life scoper, a lifestyle scoper, that the messages that you share are clear, and you're clear in your intent, and how is this going to help somebody. And then sometimes for the whole Periscope thing, you know, sometimes you got to see what do the people want. If the people come to your scopes for just encouragement, you got to make sure that you're able to deliver encouragement every time. You got to make sure you're able to deliver that. So this is what was given to me for free. And she said you got to make sure that you're able to deliver it effectively each time, no matter what, no matter the circumstances, no matter the situation. And basically, you know, the way I took it is make sure that you find your flow and you operate in your flow. I don't think Periscope is my platform. I'm a writer nor a speaker. And it may not be for you, but you can learn from others on Periscope. Sometimes, even me, I'm a speaker and I'm a talker. And I talk myself through things, and I do that. But sometimes it's good to be silent too. Sometimes it's good to shut up and listen. And I'm learning that. I'm learning that. Sometimes it's good to be quiet and listen. Sometimes it's good to learn from other people. So I'm working on that too. So that's one of my silent cries for help. Teach me how to be quiet when I need to be, and teach me how to talk when necessary. It's a learning tool for me, not a teaching tool. Absolutely. That's for you. Yep. So again, I wish you guys all the best. I'm a talker, not a speaker. I can write though. See, I'm a talker, a speaker. I'm very spiritually in tune. I'm very spiritual. I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual, and I look at things in a very philosophical view. I think I'm a deep thinker, and I deeply analyze things. You're funny. You're funny. See, telling all our business. Nobody knows I know you. No. But again, like I said, I just wanted to share that. If you guys want to share with your friends, that's fine. If not, that's still okay. But I just really want to share this, how I got it. I am similar, but when I have stuff going on, I won't deliver. Yeah, and sometimes, like, you have to step out. Like, even today, I'm all nasal congested, and I don't really feel that well. My job was canceled today, so I was grateful for that because I wasn't feeling good. But I was going to push on in spite of. And, like, even now, being on this scope, I'm pushing on in spite of. Like, I am so pushing on in spite of. Like, I got some things to do. I got some errands to run. Like, and I'm pushing on in spite of. I don't feel good at all. But I'm pushing on in spite of. And I think that's what makes us stand out and unique, is when we push on in spite of. When you press past the pain, when you push past the things that you got going on in your life, when you push past them kids getting out of control, and you like, oh my God, I just need a mental health break. Or when you're pushing past, you know, the rejection of what people, like right now, it's only 2 of y'all in here. I can look at that and say, you know what? I'm about to end this scope. I'm inspired by that. So many people who push on, but I'm not motivated to sometimes. Right. And sometimes you got to even do it when you're not motivated. Like, I'm not motivated today. I just wanted to share. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, brother. So I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't say I'm motivated, but what I will say is that I was encouraged to ask this question, because I know this is a question that someone else I know often asks people, like, what is your silent cry for help? Do you have a silent cry for help? Do you know if you have a silent cry for help? And many of us do. Many of us do. Actions takes motivation, in my opinion. Oh, action take motivation. Yeah. I guess you're right. But for me, like, I'm like, okay, like, yes. And for me, I'm just like, you know what? Let me just share. If it would have been 0 of you in here, I was going to have this conversation. If it would have been 0, because what I know for sure, in my Oprah's voice, what I know for sure is that oftentimes we let the ego, and the ego in Wayne Dyer's analogy is that we edge God out. And sometimes if we have a message that God gives us, hear me, if we have a message that God gives us, we can't get caught on the numbers. We can't get caught in how many people is in the queue, how many people has listened to the message. I can't get caught in that. I have to just deliver, and then God will do the rest of the work. Yeah, an acronym. You know what I meant. An acronym. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for correction. I know I don't have all the words to say. I know I don't have all the right words to say. But sometimes, you know, when we expose that, just like you just helped me, I exposed it, you helped me. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? You did just correct me. And I appreciate it, because I needed that. See, you did it not knowing, but the spirit was right on point. See? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see how that just worked out and you didn't even know it? Oh, not on purpose, LOL. I missed the correction too. I was talking about how Wayne Dyer talks about the ego, the acronym for ego, because she just corrected me. You edge God out. And when we edge God out, the ego steps in, and the ego says, you know, it needs to look like this. It needs to be delivered like this. If it's not enough people in here, I can't deliver, because my ego wants to control the outcome. Ooh! Ah! Do y'all hear that? Did you just hear that? Your ego wants to control the outcome. Your ego wants to control the outcome. And sometimes when our ego tries to control the outcome, God can't deliver and do the work. God can't deliver and do the work that he needs to do. I'm going to leave this message up. It was only 2 of you here today. You want to get biblical? Where 2 or 3 are gathered, who is in the midst? God is in the midst. But even if it was 0 of you, this is a message that I believe that God had me to deliver. Like, I'm like, why am I saying, what is your silent cry for help? Because I too have a silent cry for help. I too expose some of my silent cries for help. And I'm encouraging you guys to expose some of those silent cry for helps. You can expose them all, or you can expose some of them. But those silent cries for helps, the silent cries that you have for help, they could be your next level. They could be your true purpose. They could be everything that you are. Because you expose the I am. You expose the I am. Because usually our silent cries for help is that I am. Our silent cries for help is usually that I am. You know who says it best? You know who says it best? You know who says it best? Do y'all know who says it best? Lisa Nichols says this best. You have to be your own rescue. And how I took that is, in being my own rescue, I have to expose my silent cries for help. I have to expose my silent cries for help so that I could rescue myself by exposing those things that doesn't feel good, or exposing those things that I need to work on. I think I've heard her say that. Yes, you did. Rubbish memory. She did. She said that. You got to be your own rescue by exposing them silent cries for help. I didn't know Lisa was Dee's coach until yesterday. Oh yeah, Lisa Nichols is Dee's coach. Yes, Dee Marshall. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. And it's a beautiful thing. Dee Marshall. But again, I just wanted to share with you guys that, and I wish you guys all the best. Like I said, to the replay viewers, I hope something that I said has ministered to your spirit and has encouraged you to expose your silent cries for help so that you can get the help that you need to walk in your purpose. I've exposed mine to a few people. I haven't exposed everything, but I have exposed some of my silent cries for help. And I noticed that when I do expose some of those silent cries for help, that God placed people in my life to help me to see myself, to see where I need to work on, and see, you know, where I'm missing the point, or where I need to grow. So expose the silent cries for help if you can, so that can help you grow. Again, replay viewers, thank you so much for joining. I wish you guys all the best. All the best. All the best. And remember to always do your best. And never, ever, ever make assumptions, because sometime when you expose it, don't assume you're going to be perceived in a negative way. Because sometimes when you expose it, those people are right there to help you rescue you, because you exposed your silent cry for help. All the best. Take care, Miss Richards. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being actively participants. Receive loud and clear, love. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful, fabulous, fabulous day. I might come back with my grandmother on here. Take care.